There is a tree that produces 800 pounds of food per year. Its seeds contain more calcium than milk, more potassium than bananas, more protein than most grains. It grows 150 feet tall, lives for 150 years, and feeds entire ecosystems: humans, jaguars, tapirs, macaws. For 2,000 years, it was the foundation of the Maya civilization. They called it the corn tree because when corn failed, this tree kept them alive. Then, the Spanish arrived. They didn't ban it with laws. They burned the forest. They cut every tree they found. And when cattle ranching replaced rainforest, the tree that could have fed the world became timber, charcoal, and ash. This is the story of the seed we destroyed because it was too generous. Welcome to nature's forgotten vault. Before we open this vault, if these stories matter to you, the best way to preserve this wisdom is simple. Subscribe, hit the bell, and share these vaults with those who need to remember what we forgot.
Tikal, Guatemala, 250 CE. In the heart of the Maya lowlands, a city rises. Limestone pyramids pierce the canopy. Plazas hold 100,000 people. And surrounding every residential compound, planted deliberately in dense groves, stands a tree, Racemum alicastrum. The Maya called it Yahox, Ohoche, Capomo. In English, breadnut, Ramon, Maya nut. Archaeologists surveying the ruins in the 1960s noticed something strange. Ramon trees clustered unnaturally around ancient house mounds. These weren't wild forests, they were orchards. The Maya had cultivated them for over 1,000 years. Underground storage pits called chaltuns still held remnants, breadnut seeds preserved for centuries, waiting to feed people who never returned. Dennis Pulliston, the archaeologist who first mapped these groves, calculated the productivity. A single mature tree produces 330 to 800 pounds of seed annually. An orchard of 20 trees, enough for one family, yields 6,000 to 16,000 pounds. That's more food than an acre of corn, more nutrition than an acre of beans, and it required no planting, no tilling, no annual labor, just harvest, for 120 to 150 years straight. The seeds themselves were miracles of nutrition. When dried and roasted, they tasted like chestnuts, starchy, slightly sweet, dense. Ground into flour, they made bread, tortillas, porridge. Boiled whole, they replaced potatoes. The Maya mixed breadnut flour with cornmeal to stretch harvests between planting seasons. When droughts killed crops, the Ramon kept producing. It was drought-resistant. It thrived in poor soil. It required zero irrigation. The leaves fed livestock during dry seasons. The bark yielded latex for making chewing gum, natural chicle, the original base for chewing gum before synthetics. The wood was durable and pest-resistant. And the tree itself? A carbon sink, fixing CO2 into limestone through a bacterial-fungal symbiosis in the soil, sequestering carbon permanently. Every part was useful. Every year was abundant. And the Maya civilization, one of the most sophisticated in human history, built cities around it. So, if a single tree could produce 800 pounds of food per year for 150 years, why have you never heard of it? Because when the Spanish conquered the Americas, they didn't just destroy cities, they destroyed the trees that made cities possible.
Brocemum alicastrum is a member of the fig family, towering 100 to 150 feet tall with a trunk diameter over 3 feet. It grows from southern Mexico to Bolivia, throughout the Caribbean, thriving in elevations from sea level to 6,500 feet. The tree is monoecious, dioecious, or hermaphroditic, changing sex as it ages, ensuring pollination. Birds and bats disperse its seeds across miles of forest. The fruit is spherical, 1 to 2 inches in diameter, with a thin orange peel that tastes faintly citrus. Inside, a single seed, roughly 3 grams, wrapped in that sweet mesocarp. Animals eat the fruit whole. Humans collect the fallen seeds, dry them for 48 hours, then roast or boil them. Nutritionally, breadnut seeds are staggering. They're 12% protein, higher than corn or rice, 22% dietary fiber, double the calcium of corn, quinoa, or oats, twice the potassium of bananas. Iron, up to 60 milligrams per 100 grams, more than spinach. Zinc, folic acid, vitamins A, B, C, and E. Tryptophan, the amino acid that produces serotonin and melatonin, promoting sleep, mood stability, and stress resilience. Zero fat, gluten-free, allergen-free. The Food and Agriculture Organization calls breadnut an underutilized species with significant potential for food security. NASA has considered it for space agriculture. One study in 2024 confirmed breadnut flour can replace up to 75% of wheat flour in baked goods without affecting quality. And it grows where other crops fail. Tolerates drought. Tolerates poor soil. Tolerates salt. Its deep roots prevent erosion. Its canopy provides shade for coffee and cacao. Its presence in forests indicates healthy ecosystems. Where Ramon thrives, biodiversity explodes. A tree this productive, this nutritious, this resilient, you'd think every tropical nation would plant millions of them. Instead, we're cutting them down at a rate of 10,000 hectares per year. And the reason tells you everything about what we value.
The Spanish didn't arrive in Mesoamerica to preserve forests. They arrived to extract silver, gold, timber, land. And when they saw vast tracts of Ramon forests surrounding Maya cities, they saw obstacles. Cattle. That was the Spanish economy. Cattle required pasture. Pasture required clearing. And the Ramon tree, massive, ancient, deeply rooted, was in the way. By the 1600s, Spanish colonists were burning Maya forests, not for farmland, for grazing. The Ramon groves that had fed Tikal, Calakmul, Copan, cities of hundreds of thousands, were torched to make room for herds of 50, 100, 200 cattle. The Maya protested. They explained, the trees feed us. The Spanish didn't care. Colonial records show systematic deforestation across Guatemala, Honduras, Belize, southern Mexico. Millions of Ramon trees, some over 500 years old, older than the pyramids themselves, cut, burned, erased. And when the Maya civilization collapsed, debated by historians, but likely due to drought, war, and Spanish disease, no one replanted the orchards. The knowledge of cultivation faded. The trees that remained were wild, untended, forgotten. By the 1800s, Ramon was considered livestock fodder. By the 1900s, it was timber. By the 2000s, it was a weed species in forests being cleared for palm oil plantations. But here's the part that makes this erasure unforgivable. While we were burning Ramon forests, people were starving, and they still are. Guatemala, 2025. The Maya Biosphere Reserve. 21,602 square kilometers of protected forest, the largest in Central America, is being destroyed. Satellite data from NASA shows 10,000 hectares of forest lost annually. The primary cause? Illegal cattle ranching. Drug cartels fund the clearances. They pay rural communities to invade protected lands, cut trees, burn undergrowth, plant grass for cattle. The cattle ranches disguise clandestine airstrips for smuggling cocaine from Colombia and Venezuela. It's money laundering dressed as agriculture. And the Ramon trees, thousands of them, centuries old, are burning.
Researchers estimate that in Laguna del Tigre National Park alone, 33% of the forest has been lost since 2000. Most of those forests were Ramon dominant. Each tree could have fed a family for generations. Instead, they're ash. Meanwhile, Guatemala faces food insecurity. Malnutrition rates in rural areas exceed 50%. Children suffer from stunted growth due to protein deficiency. And a tree that produces 800 pounds of complete protein annually is being cut down to graze cattle that yield 400 pounds of meat after 2 years. The math is obscene. One Ramon tree, over its 150-year lifespan, produces 120,000 pounds of food. One cow, over its 2-year lifespan, produces 400 pounds of meat. The tree feeds 300 times more people. But the tree can't be sold for $1,000 per head. The tree doesn't create profit fast enough. So we burn it. And then, in the 1970s, a handful of people decided to fight back. They weren't scientists, they weren't governments, they were indigenous communities who remembered what the tree meant. Guatemala, 1990. The government establishes community forest concessions in the Eastern Maya Biosphere Reserve. Local indigenous groups, descendants of the ancient Maya, are given legal rights to manage 900,000 acres of forest. Their mandate? Protect it. Their method? Harvest Ramon. The communities form cooperatives. They collect fallen breadnut seeds, millions of them, littering the forest floor every year, rotting because no one eats them anymore. They dry the seeds, roast them, grind them into flour. They sell Ramon flour to health food stores in Guatemala City, to exporters in the United States, to organizations promoting traditional foods. Revenue flows back. Families earn income from standing forests. The trees stay alive. And the deforestation rate in community-managed concessions? Less than 1% annually. Compare that to the 33% loss in national parks being invaded by ranchers. A 2018 study by Yale University confirmed it. Community forests protected by indigenous people have the lowest deforestation rates in the entire Maya Biosphere Reserve. They succeed where governments fail. Why? Because they remember. They know what the Ramon tree is. They know it's not timber, it's survival. Organizations like the Mayanut Institute and Green Balam Forests work with these communities. They plant new Ramon orchards. They teach processing techniques. They connect harvesters to international markets. And slowly, the tree is returning. In 2012, conservation groups began reclaiming land from illegal cattle ranchers. By 2024, they had recovered 155,000 hectares of degraded forest. They expelled ranching operations. They replanted Ramon. And for the first time since 1990, the Eastern Maya Biosphere Reserve showed net forest gain, 1,087 hectares of new growth. But here's the reality. We're still losing. For every hectare replanted, 3 are burned. And the reason we're losing reveals the same pattern we've seen in every plant we've covered.
Climate change is collapsing food systems. Droughts in Central America are intensifying. Corn yields are dropping. Farmers are abandoning fields. And the breadnut tree, drought-resistant, nutrient-dense, requiring zero inputs, is still being logged for cattle ranches that produce 1/300th the food. Global malnutrition affects 2 billion people. Protein deficiency stunts growth in 150 million children. Calcium deficiency causes osteoporosis in 200 million adults. And a tree that provides complete protein, double the calcium of milk, and enough potassium to prevent hypertension grows wild in forests we're burning for beef. NASA research in 2024 confirmed breadnut trees sequester carbon faster than most tropical species. Planting 50,000 hectares of rainforest in Guatemala alone could remove 7.5 million tons of CO2 over 30 years, equivalent to taking 1.6 million cars off the road. The Rainforest Alliance estimates that sustainable rain harvests from community forests generate $6 million annually in Guatemala. Families earn income, forests stay protected, carbon stays sequestered, wildlife thrives, and people eat. But industrial agriculture doesn't want ramen. It wants monocultures: corn, soy, palm oil. Crops that require seeds purchased annually, fertilizers sold by corporations, machinery leased from distributors. A tree that produces food for free for 150 years without inputs threatens profit. The breadnut isn't the exception, it's the rule. And once you see the rule, you understand what we've lost. The Maya didn't collapse because they ran out of food. They collapsed because invaders burned their food forests. The Spanish didn't ban the ramen tree with laws. They cleared it with fire and cattle. And today, drug cartels funded by global cocaine demand are finishing what colonialism started. But the tree survives. In community forests managed by indigenous people, in cooperatives selling ramen flour to health stores, in replanted orchards where families harvest seeds their great-grandparents once ate. Every breadnut tree standing today is an act of resistance against industrial agriculture that demands annual planting, against cattle ranching that requires cleared land, against a food system that profits from scarcity, not abundance. The Maya knew a civilization that destroys its food forests destroys itself. We're learning that lesson again, except this time it's global, and the forest we're burning could have fed billions. The seed that could end hunger is still here, growing in Guatemala, in Belize, in Honduras, in every remnant forest where the ramen tree refuses to die. All it asks is that we stop burning it and start planting. If this vault opens something for you, subscribe to Nature's Forgotten Vault and hit the bell. Every like and every share preserves what they tried to erase. The next vault opens soon.